My forest school friends, let's start with our opening song. The earth is firm beneath my feet, the sun shines bright above, and here I stand so straight and tall, all things to learn and love. I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. So this week, I would like to talk about pollinators with you. What is pollination? Pollination is when, either by the wind or by pollinating animals, like bees and butterflies and birds, the pollen gets moved from one flower to another flower. And this helps the pollen grow and develop seeds and fruit. So to kind of show you what pollination is today, I have a fun little project. So what I did here is I drew flowers on a page. And I'm going to take some paint and put a little bit of paint in the center of each flower. So bear with me, I'm going to use a little bit of purple paint. Get a little bit of orange paint. And I'm just going to put a teeny little bit in the center of the flower. And I think this is really going to help us understand what pollinators do. What other types of animals are pollinators? What can you think of? Bees, that's right, butterflies, hummingbirds, beetles, bats, moths. And the wind is also a pollinator. It blows the pollen from one flower to another. Okay. So now you see I have the paint inside each one of the flowers. So I also made a little bee. And what I did is I drew the bee with some crayons, cut them out, and I glued a cotton ball on the back. But you can be creative and come up with a different type of pollinator. But really all I'm going to show you is, here's a little bee. Bzzz. Oh, this flower looks good. Oh, drinks a little nectar. Has a little pollen on them. Flies to the next flower. Bzzz. Ooh, this flower looks good. Let me get a little bit of this nectar. Oh, and now look here. He has some pollen from this flower onto this flower, and he's got two kinds of pollen on his body. Bzzz. Over to this flower. Some more pollen. Bzzz. And over to the last. Now the bee has all of the flower's pollen on his body, and the bee has flown around to all the flowers, and each flower it visited, it brought some of the pollen from the other flowers. And that's basically what pollination is. And it helps flowers to reproduce and to create seeds and fruit and to keep the flowers healthy. So I have an idea for your nature journals. I would like you to go out in your backyard and see if you notice any pollinators in your yard. If you do see some pollinators, I want you to watch them closely. What are the pollinators doing? What type of plants do they seem to like? And what type of pollinators are in your yard? And after you spend some time noticing the pollinators, maybe you can draw some pictures of what type of pollinators you saw in your nature journal. Maybe you could take a little leaf or a little petal of one of the flowers you noticed the pollinators really like, and you can press it into a book. There's lots of different options. I'd like you to get creative with this. So if you notice that there aren't many pollinators in your yard and you would like to attract more, do you have any ideas of what you could do to invite pollinators into your yard? Well, pollinators really like flowers. So planting a vegetable garden or some wildflowers in your yard will attract the pollinators to come visit you. So I'm actually starting a garden on my other balcony, and I planted some bee-friendly plants to attract the bees to my balcony. And there is another special pollinator that has actually visited me many times on my balcony, and that's a hummingbird. So I would like to share a song with you, and I want to give credit to who came up with the song. And it was Missouri Botanical Garden. So thank you, Missouri Botanical Garden, for creating such an awesome song about pollination. And this song is called the Pollination Song. What does a plant need to make a new seed? 3 things give flowers their reproductive powers: the sticky pollen, the slender stamen, and pistils make the flower whole. What gets pollen going to keep plants growing? Different kinds of birds do, or the wind that's blowing. Butterflies and bees carry pollen they need. That's what makes pollination work. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning about pollination. This is actually something that we've talked a lot about at forest school. We've seen lots of pollinators out there, like butterflies and bees, being very busy pollinating the plants. And something that's really important about pollinators is that thanks to all of the hard work of the pollinators, we have fruits and lots of different types of food to eat. If we didn't have pollinators, we would have a lot less options of delicious fruits and delicious vegetables to eat. And we would also have a lot less beautiful flowers and trees to look at. So pollinators are a really important part of our world. Let's do our wish well. Let's bring your hands to your heart. Today for our wish well, I would like to wish well all the bees in the world. Who would you like to wish well today? Let's sing our song. We wish you well, we wish you well, all through the day today, we wish you well. It's time for our closing song. Where I stand is holy, sacred is the ground, forest, mountain, river, listen to the sound. We all fly like eagles, flying so high, circling the universe on wings of pure light. Thank you everyone for joining me, and I want to offer a special shout out to everybody who's sent pictures and videos of all of you and everything that you're doing at home. I really appreciate seeing it. It makes my heart really, really happy to see all of you because I miss you a ton. Look forward to making the next video for you. See you soon.